In the grip of night, the restaurant's dark secret. In the shadowy realm of my late teens, I toiled away at my father's seemingly ordinary restaurant. A local haunt with mundane origins, yet harboring a peculiar secret, its doors swung open until the unearthly hours of 2 a.m. My high school days saw me navigating the evening shifts post-school, a routine that metamorphosed after graduation into the realm of late-night closures. The nocturnal landscape painted an eerie portrait of solitude, punctuated only by the sporadic hum of the online order seekers or the occasional gathering of night owls huddled around tables. The nocturnal domain, an uncharted territory, granted me the liberty to navigate without the looming presence of my father's directives. The nocturnal shift, however, unfurled an unsettling chapter after 6 months of relative tranquility. The witching hour of 1:45 a.m. emerged as a gateway to the inexplicable. The ominous chime of the door beckoned me to the front, where 2 weary souls materialized, their weariness etched deep into their countenance. One approached the counter, the other lingering at a table, an unorthodox ritual, given the dining hall's official closure. The visitor's gaze, an unwelcome inspection, lingered behind me. A disconcerting silence lingered before the table dweller abruptly departed, his companion in tow. A disconcerting oddity unfolded, a puzzle with no rational pieces to assemble. Speculations of impending robbery danced through my mind like malevolent specters. The unsettling dance continued, prompting a conversation with my father who, in his wisdom, advised early lockdowns at 1:45 a.m. for the upcoming days. A remedy to the unspoken unease that lingered in the after-hours shadows. Yet, the bizarre encore manifested a week later. A routine customer, blissfully unaware of the lurking malevolence, picked up an order at 1:30 a.m. As the night embraced solitude once more, the haunting figure from the past materialized. The same attire adorned the mysterious visitor who, this time, approached the counter with an unsettling intensity in his eyes. A sinister request unfurled, the jump-starting of his car, delivered with a malevolence that sent shivers down my spine. Panic clenched its icy grip around my thoughts as he beckoned me to follow, his intentions obscured in the shadows of the night. Fight or flight surged within me, a storm of adrenaline engulfing reason. Not a towering figure by any means, I grappled with the harsh reality that my defiance might unleash unforeseen consequences. The looming specter of an accomplice hidden in the shadows intensified the internal struggle. In the desperate grasp for self-preservation, I seized a pair of scissors, the meager arsenal of a restaurant worker confronting the unknown. A standoff ensued, the man's demand for compliance colliding with my trembling resistance. In the climactic moment, a disruptive bang echoed through the stillness, followed by the violent expulsion of the back door. The intruder, confronted by the unexpected, fled into the abyss from whence he came. A chaotic interlude ensued, my heart pounding as I turned to the front counter, only to find the second malefactor had evaporated into the shadows. The aftermath unfolded in the stark light of police scrutiny. The grainy footage offered little in the quest for identities. Puzzled and perturbed, I pondered the enigma of their inexplicable retreat. The assailants, for reasons unknown, refrained from unleashing the expected havoc. Perhaps, in the cosmic dance of fate, my instinct to resist disrupted their malevolent choreography. As the shadows of that fateful night receded, I found solace in the unanswered questions. The unspoken horrors that lurked within my father's restaurant, unseen yet palpable, retreated into the recesses of memory, leaving behind an indelible mark on the canvas of my nocturnal odyssey. Cacophony of fear, when the neighbor's smile hides malevolence. In the confined solitude of my 20s, I inhabited a modest apartment, a haven for the solitary soul. Nestled within a small complex of 6 units, most of my neighbors were the aged, silent denizens who kept to themselves, a circumstance I rather cherished. Interaction was a fleeting necessity, for my days were perpetually marked by haste and an aversion to socializing. Perched atop the structure, I resided in tranquil detachment until an old couple occupying the adjacent space bid farewell after 2 years of uneventful cohabitation. Their departure ushered in an unsettling quiet, a calm before the storm. The subsequent arrival of a new neighbor, a tall figure in his 40s or 50s, draped the quietude in an unsettling aura. One mundane morning, as I prepared for the monotony of work, the neighbor's door creaked ajar. unremarkable at first, but as minutes waltzed by, the absent symphony of a closing door left an indelible mark. Shoes adorned, I stood at my threshold, confronted by the unsettling gaze of the enigmatic newcomer. His smile, a veneer of congeniality, veiled a deeper disquiet. Efforts to evade the peculiar encounter proved futile, as he extended an invitation for an impromptu breakfast. A hurried apology and a descent down the staircase became my escape, a desperate retreat from the growing unease. The strangeness lingered throughout the day, a haunting echo that resonated even in the sanctum of my thoughts. Morning's light summoned an unwelcome encore. A persistent knock roused me from slumber, a discordant prelude to the surreal encounter awaiting beyond the door. The neighbor, a spectral figure, stood framed by his perpetually open doorway. His insistence for a shared breakfast met a stern refusal, a plea for solitude, which only stoked the embers of his unsettling persistence. A shroud of trepidation enveloped my sanctuary, overshadowing the mundane routines. As the night unfolded its inky tendrils, the neighbor's nocturnal activities unfurled. His door, a portal into the abyss, creaked open, each groan echoing through the silence, accompanied by the ominous absence of its subsequent closure. The hours unfurled, my nerves strained, but the void persisted. In the nocturnal stillness, a violent knock shattered my uneasy repose. Yet, it emanated not from my front door but the chamber of dreams, my bedroom. Terrified, I brandished a meager screwdriver, a futile defense against the unknown menace. The ghastly reality unfolded, prompting a desperate call to the guardians of the night, 911. Responders arrived, unraveling a surreal tapestry of fear. The door, inexplicably sealed, offered no trace of forced entry. Desperation clung to my words as I spilled the tale of the neighbor's haunting persistence. Alas, the absence of tangible proof shackled the hands of justice. The sanctuary I once called home morphed into a sinister stage. Refuge awaited at my sister's abode, but the shadows of dread clung to my every step. Days swirled into a blur, a mere prelude to the ominous return to my apartment. The comforting embrace of familiarity curdled into a silent terror as I ascended the dimly lit staircase. Relief, like a fleeting wisp, danced through my veins as the neighbor's door stood closed. Yet, the tranquility shattered as I entered my domain. He, perched upon my couch, an eerie smile etched on his countenance. A primal scream propelled me out of the complex, a frantic plea for safety in the confines of my car. The subsequent police intervention unfurled the grim tableau. Handcuffed and subdued, the neighbor admitted to a triad of intrusions, a revelation that plunged my reality into a deeper abyss. The veil of security, torn asunder, revealed a truth more chilling than the fiction. The lurking specter had observed, trespassed, and haunted my very existence. Hunted by shadows, the coyote packs whispering pursuit. In the twilight realm where shadows merged with the soft hues of sunset, my little Jack Russell companion, Maggie, and I embarked on our routine evening walk. Maggie, a whirlwind of energy, often led our walks into the realm of the lengthy, sometimes spanning 2 hours or more. This particular evening, the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting elongated shadows, and as I returned from work, the evening held the promise of another leisurely stroll. The leash clipped onto Maggie's collar, a swift change of attire, and we set out into the waning light. The familiar routine unfolded as Maggie, the undisputed director of our walks, guided me through the labyrinth of streets. However, as the sun neared the edge of the world, signaling the approaching night, a subtle shift in our trajectory altered the course of the ordinary. An hour into our journey, the dimming light betrayed my realization. We had ventured farther than intended. The hypnotic rhythm of the walk, coupled with Maggie's unbridled enthusiasm, led us into unfamiliar territory. The realization struck, but as I attempted to retrace our steps, Maggie stood frozen, whimpering softly. It was then that I saw it. Amidst the fading glow, a colossal coyote materialized in the middle of the street. Its form, akin to a golden retriever, was marred by matted fur, and its partially open mouth revealed a grotesque display of sharp, yellow teeth. A primal understanding gripped me. It hungered. Swiftly, I scooped Maggie into my arms, pivoting to walk in the opposite direction. Fear tinged my steps, yet a naive hope whispered that the coyote would relent. As we pressed on, the coyote trailed at a distance, an ominous silhouette in the encroaching darkness. The labyrinth of unfamiliar streets morphed into a disorienting maze. Panic clawed at the edges of my composure, magnified by the eerie yips and howls that resonated through the night. Glowing eyes peered from the shadows, a sinister ensemble that closed in with each passing moment. The pack of coyotes, their glowing eyes fixated on my every move, transformed the once familiar streets into a haunting tableau. The darkness, now punctuated by the luminous gaze of the pursuing predators, enveloped me in a shroud of terror. I pressed forward, the weight of uncertainty settling heavily on my shoulders. 45 minutes of relentless pursuit left me fatigued and disoriented. Maggie's escalating whimpering mirrored my escalating fear. The howls, a dissonant symphony, echoed through the night, growing louder and closer. Glancing back, their eyes locked onto mine from a mere 30 to 40 feet away. A surreal turn of events awaited. The pack, once unified in their pursuit, inexplicably parted, creating a path through which a small car maneuvered. A compassionate stranger, sensing my distress, offered assistance. Tears streamed down my face as I recounted the harrowing ordeal. Grateful for her intervention, I reluctantly entered the vehicle, my only choice in the face of impending danger. The kind lady navigated through the night. The distance from her pickup point to my home stretched almost 20 minutes. A quiet neighborhood, presumed safe, had harbored a perilous encounter. Coyotes, once a distant concern, now loomed as a palpable threat. As the years unfolded, the once tranquil town succumbed to an influx of these hungry, merciless creatures. Coyotes, emboldened and growing in number, posed a danger previously dismissed. Cautionary signs adorned parks, detailing areas frequented by these predators. News stories emerged, recounting tales of fences leapt over and small dogs snatched away. The once serene parks now bore witness to the gruesome aftermath of larger animals torn apart. A few years have passed since that fateful night, yet the specter of coyotes continues to cast its shadow over the town. Their presence, once a distant murmur, now resonates as a cautionary tale. In the quietude of suburban streets, the threat lingers, a reminder that the line between safety and the unseen dangers of the night is perilously thin.